The film began with a woman called Anna arriving home after a morning walk in the fields with her dog. Because it was Peter's turn her husband to drop their girls, Frida and Fanny, to school, she was surprised they were still home. She sensed something was not right, and so she went to the house to confirm if everything was fine from him. Surprisingly, Peter was packing his bags to travel to Stockholm because the police had asked him to show up on an urgent matter. Even though Anna insisted on joining him, he hesitated because she had to take care of their girls. The days before this incident, Peter lived happily with Anna and their 2 girls. Peter was a doctor while Anna was a lawyer. At times, she used to house her clients who needed help, but Peter was uncomfortable with the whole idea because their home space was supposed to be a place for them and their girls, and not a working ground. Although Anna insisted on her idea because she always loved to extend a hand of help to her clients in need, Peter suggested preserving that space for his son Gustav that he had before their relationship, who was going to join them for a while as they get to know each other. For the good of their family, Anna had no choice but to be on the same page with Peter. After a long day of work, it was always Anna's routine to attend to her girls before sleep, reading them stories. The following day, Peter and Gustav arrived from Stockholm. She warmly welcomed them from the journey, and from there Gustav was introduced to his stepsisters, who were also happy to receive him, though he was finding it hard to fit in. When she went to see Lena, her sister who was doing cosmetics, Anna told her that Gustav had been expelled again from school, and Peter was suggesting he resumes again after the summer holidays so it would buy time for both to connect again. Later, Lena told Anna about their mother's unstable health condition and that she deserved a visit from her. The following day from work, Anna came across Gustav's key holder at the doorstep that was given to him the day he got into their home from one of his little sisters. She picked it up and kept it in her bag. She found the house was untidy, so she started by organizing it, thinking that no one was home, and then Gustav showed up after taking a shower, and Anna kinda teased him about the book he was reading because she wanted him to feel free and comfortable around them. One evening, when Anna was picking the girls from horse riding, she found Peter in a quarrel with Gustav because he never wanted to stay in Sweden or with Rebecca, his biological mother, that he wanted to be independent, a thing that Peter was not willing to grant him for as long as he was still under their care. One day, when Anna got home from work, she found that thugs had broken into their home, so she called the police and also called Peter to update him on what was happening, and as she was still on the phone, Gustav showed up, and she asked him to check his room for any missing stuff because they had just experienced a robbery. The following day at work, Anna had issues with the boss after confronting the accused on one of the cases that they were working on, which is against the rules, but she was not bothered and willing to pay the fine because she knew she was fighting for innocent souls. After work, she did some laundry as any responsible mother and wife. Surprisingly, she found Gustav's key holder, if you remember well, the one that she picked at the doorway sometime back in his clothes, yet she had kept it in her bag that was stolen the day they were robbed. As an intelligent lawyer, she knew that Gustav was the one involved in the robbery they had, so what she did to take advantage of his guilt was, she gave him a condition to get involved with their family and be part of it. That way Peter and the police would not have to know about what he did. Even though Gustav was unruly, he had no choice but to comply with Anna's condition to get away with the offense. From that day, Gustav started interacting with his siblings. Peter was surprised, not knowing that it was all his wife's secret manipulation of Gustav. One day, Anna was in the living room doing some paperwork. Gustav showed up with his girl Amanda. He introduced her to Anna. Though she was kinda happy that he was starting to fit in, she also felt kinda jealous because it reminded her of her young days and the fact that Peter was busy most of the time, that he had less time for her. When Gustav took Amanda to his room, the sounds of their fun were loud. Anna started getting uncomfortable because she missed such moments. All this was because she was always alone at home most of the time because Peter was a doctor, which meant that he was busy most of his time. The following day from work, Anna tried to get Peter, her husband, into having some quality romantic moments, but he was hesitant because he was busy working on some article. She suggested he pushes the article to the weekend, but he was like he was going to have a conference that weekend, so she persisted until he had no choice. That weekend, Anna took the girls and Gustav swimming at a lake. Gustav and the girls enjoyed the swimming, but Anna kept busy on her computer. Gustav provoked her into joining them. She did, which surprised the girls, and they had fun together as a family, such moments that she rarely gets. When it got dark, Anna drove them back home. The girls were tired and sleepy, and Gustav helped her carry one. Somehow, they had started bonding. They had a little talk that night, trying to get to know each other. Something that they all had in common was that they had little to no friends. When she asked where he had got the tattoos he had on his hand, he suggested to put one on her hand, and even though she was against the whole idea due to her profession, she decided to get one to make him happy and to act as a souvenir for their friendship. Days later, Peter received guests from his workplace at their home. As a wife, Anna accompanied him, but she felt so bored to the maximum that she put on loud music trying to entertain them. But they were not interested at all. What she did, she isolated herself to give them space as she got fresh air. As it was turning dark, Gustav was going out to get some cigars, and she decided to join him to kill her boredom despite the fact that the guests were still around. Anna used this opportunity and took Gustav to the pub. They had a small talk about Amanda, and she sounded like she was kinda insecure because Amanda was young and beautiful, like she was a threat to her. But Gustav was not clicking until the way Anna treated him as he was leaving to see Amanda. Like, this triggered him in a certain way, and she had done it on purpose, trying her luck with him despite the fact that she was his stepmother. When Gustav left Anna in the pub to go see his girlfriend Amanda, she returned home and found Peter mad for leaving him with the guests home, saying that it was a sign of disrespect, but she was not that bothered. After all, she at least had fun where she was. That night, Peter worked the night shift and Anna used it as an opportunity to get with Gustav the following day. She bought him a laptop as a present to strengthen their bond, and she also told Peter about it to make it seem like she and Gustav were getting along, which Peter was proud of. One day, when she got back from work, she found Gustav reading the girls' stories, and she was happy that they were getting along. And whenever she got an opportunity with Gustav, she made sure to use it to the extent that one day, Peter almost caught them hadn't he asked the girls where their mother was, and they had his voice, so she got to him first with guilt and nervous because she did not expect him home at that time, but Peter could not even notice that something was wrong. On her twin's birthday, Lena saw Anna with Gustav in an inappropriate way and became mad at her because she was selfish to take advantage of Gustav, because he was the young one and she was the grown-up, most of it all what she was doing to her husband Peter. Lena got her things and left the party. Anna started pushing Gustav away, but he could not tell why because he didn't see Lena when she saw them, so to get her attention back, he climbed a tree and threatened to hurt himself, and when he fell off, Peter panicked thinking that he was hurt, and yet he was kidding, which pissed him off. Somehow, Anna knew that this was all her fault. Now that Lena had known about her secret affair, and Gustav couldn't control his emotions, he was now a threat to Anna and her family, so she started inserting the idea of his leave into Peter's head, which was hard for him because Gustav was his son. She then met with Gustav in the woods and told him that they had to end their affair and also to keep it a secret from Peter, something he never agreed to because he was now obsessed with her. From that day, she got so insecure that every time she saw Peter and Gustav talk, she could think that it was about her. Peter told her that Gustav and he were going to spend some time at the cottage to try to catch up with time, and besides that, Lena, her sister, had called him. She got so nervous thinking if Lena had told him the truth, but it was not the case. The following day, she decided to meet Lena and talk about it, but she refused her in her house because she was still mad and felt ashamed of her selfish intentions. After Lena pushed her away, Anna felt desperate because she was her only sister and best friend, so she drove the girls to the horses for fun but thought of how to overcome the challenge without losing her job and family as an intelligent lawyer. After some time, Peter and Gustav got back from the cottage and what she was worried about came true. Gustav told Peter the truth, but he managed to control his anger in front of the girls, so that night, he talked to Anna about Gustav's confession regarding their affair, and guess what? She used her lawyer skills of manipulating people with psychology to the extent that it was Peter who started apologizing to her for listening to Gustav. She tarnished Gustav in the eyes of Peter, and the thing that made him believe her the most was the robbery thing that Gustav did. And the reason she gave as to why she didn't tell him about it was that she wanted him and Gustav to get a chance together. By the way, as they were arguing, she was parking, and as she was leaving, she told Peter that he must find another house to stay in by the time she gets back and that Gustav must be gone immediately. After she thought out everything, she got back home and got the one piece of evidence that would implicate her, which was a recording she had with Gustav during one of their meetings. Because Peter was in the dark, he got Gustav in their presence to apologize to Anna for the accusations, but he could not because he was right and Anna played the victim. The next thing, he had to leave because he had refused to cooperate with them, and a while later, Gustav decided to confront Anna at her law firm. He threatened to drag her to court, but she was not moved at all since she knew how the system works and assured him that no one was to help and believe him because he had no evidence. That's why he asked him to keep it as a secret to avoid drama. Anna took advantage of Gustav because he was young and naive to understand the law, which broke him down in tears that not even his own father could believe him. A while later, Gustav took his life because of the trauma. Anna felt guilty because it was all her fault that she almost confessed to Peter, and the film ended as they were leaving for burial. If you have come this far, thanks for watching, and consider subscribing.